All right. Hey guys, how the heck are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm amazing. So please tell people out there why they might enjoy your film, Tim Travers and the Time Traveler's Paradox.
I guess that depends. Do you enjoy time travel? Do you enjoy comedy? Do you enjoy stories of self-acceptance? We are some of those things some of the time.
Oh,
And if you
okay.
like the name Tim, I guess.
Yeah.
Definitely
This is
put the
definitely
tips
a
out
movie
there.
for guys who haven't heard their own name a lot. If their name is Tim, this is the movie you've been waiting for.
I love it. Okay, and talk about your cultural angle here because the film takes aim to an extent at conspiracy theories, I would say.
There is so much random nonsense in the world right now. Well, the nonsense has always been there, but for some reason, the nonsense that used to be on the periphery of our lives has made it into the mainstream. I don't know how anybody trying to do satire can't not target that. The conspiracies in this film, we've a lot of them, but to me, I would describe them as being fairly periphery. They're just part of existing in this world, and even though this is satire and parody, I still want this to be very much our world. So it's like, how do you do a movie where there's no gravity? It's like you have to acknowledge it. That's conspiracy theories have become the gravity of our lives. Stimson Snead quote of the day.
Okay, do you have a favorite conspiracy theory?
Um, yes, I have my own. Okay, you know what? I don't know if anybody else has this conspiracy theory, but I am going to use this opportunity to tell you my conspiracy theory. I'm convinced that Google Maps lies to you. Because anytime you're going near San Francisco or any other tech center, it will tell you to take every conceivable route that isn't the one that goes through these people's neighborhoods. The people who make Google Maps, I am convinced, are trying to lower the traffic in their own neighborhoods to make their own lives easier. That is my own conspiracy theory of the day. Sam, what's your conspiracy theory?
I don't know. I don't have enough time for conspiracy theories half the time, just because, like you said, too many of them are mainstream now, where it's just sort of like d delineating between actual reality, and that is now becoming its own bit of homework. But I don't know, I've always had some like bit of entertainment out of all the theories that go around the Denver airport and the lizard people living underneath it. And I'm just like, how bored were you when you came up with it?
I thought the lizard people were living under Mount Shasta. It's under the airport?
I feel like they've got a few different locations. I think that if you talk to lizard people, believers, I think they're in more than one spot.
Yeah,
Lizard people are
quite
a
possibly.
classic. They're a
Yeah.
classic. And time travel is like a big conspiracy theory too. A lot of people have time traveling conspiracy theories.
Hmm. But wasn't there one like internet meme that started in the early 2000s about a guy just claiming he was a time traveler uh on just forums, and for whatever reason people believing him? Like and he was just
There's a bunch
talking
of
about the
those.
coming. Okay, I thought there was like one specific guy who was like the trendsetter.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that there was a first, but there subsequently been a bunch. Oh yeah, good
Yeah.
times. And so, did you want? Was that the nucleus for this film? Was it that guy? Hearing about that guy, you said, "Wow, that's something kind of wacky. I want to make a movie about that."
Yeah,
What was the
I wish it
nucleus?
was. I wish that was the nucleus because that's such a better story than the actual nucleus. I was at some film festivals. I watched a time travel movie and I really, really hated it. So I got drunk with some friends from MIT, and that night after getting nearly blackout drunk, brainstormed what to me a good time travel movie would be, wrote the outline on a napkin, and found that napkin during a particularly epic hangover the next day. Um, and then I just decided to make that into a short. I ended up waiting a few months because the pandemic hit and I couldn't find a lead actor for the character. And that's when I randomly bumped into Sam. It was probably, what do you think, the last festival either of us was at before the entire world got shut down?
Yep. Yeah, I'd say it was definitely the last one for my short that I made.
So, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, and that's how I bumped into Sam on it. And then we both just loved the short so much that when I ended up on my back foot about a year and a half later and I needed to put together a project fast for a feature, Tim Travers became like the really obvious one to do. I think the first step was I kind of called you, Sam. It was like, is this something you want to do again? You down?
And of course, yeah, I mean, being a an actor who just trying to get work any way possible, it's like, well, you want to make your role that was already an actor's wet dream of getting to play like a billion versions of yourself into an even bigger version of that and stroke your ego unbelievably. And yeah, of course,
Oh, and this time I was going to put you with celebrities. So, that too.
that also helps.
It's true. Yeah, Danny Trejo and Keith David, legends. Tell me about working with those guys.
Sam, I'll let you take this one. You got to work very intimately with both of them.
It was, I mean, obviously, it was, like a wonderful, wonderful experience, and kind of a dream come true in a lot of ways. But I'd be remiss if I didn't say that, like, I was pretty thoroughly overwhelmed with my own sheer amount of work that I had to get through on a given day since I had to have basically this whole script memorized, yeah, like top to bottom, since most of the movie is just me talking to myself. I think the first moment I met Joel McHale, I walked in, he just looked at me and said, "Dude, I don't know how you're gonna do this." And yeah, and I think my first words to him was something along the lines of like, "I don't know either, man. Hi." And that was kind of the pervading energy the whole time I was working with all these guys, is that they were just sort of like, "So what are you doing when I'm not here?" And I'm like, "Oh, just talking to myself fully." And they were like, "Oh, okay." That sounds insane. But
I
it
think
was
the
a real
moment
real treat working with them. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I think the moment that stood out of my memory with Keith David was he got to set, and I hadn't had the chance to go and greet him. I was directing another scene at the time. So he'd been there probably 2 hours by the time I had a chance to go say hello. And it was one of the handful of scenes in the movie that Sam wasn't in. So I remember heading back to the dressing rooms to introduce myself to Keith David, and I walk in on him, Babbitt, and Keith in the middle of the scene, just running lines, full performance together. And I didn't even introduce myself. I remember just kind of walking in, just waiting politely in the corner for them to finish because I didn't want to interrupt their mojo. But it was just this sort of really gratifying moment of walking in mid scene on that, and that moment stays with me.
That's amazing. I kind of want to get back to that napkin though, because I've someone told me once that she came out with like a whole play one night and then didn't like jot anything down and completely forgot everything the next day.
Doesn't
How?
matter how drunk you are, always have a pen
Yeah,
and not a smartphone. If you try to dictate, it's just going to be gobbledygook.
right.
Pen, napkin. It's very simple.
How much did you write on the napkin?
Um, I don't want to say the majority of my good ideas come to be in the midst of hardcore substance abuse, but solidly half of them do. Um, Honestly, it's just kind of part of the brainstorming process. I am one of those creatives where oftentimes the thing that inspires me most is reacting to other people's work. Tim Travers is a perfect example of that. Other times it's when I'm just relaxing. I spent the last couple months working on a new screenplay for an adaptation of a Yahtzee Croshaw novel. And in the evening, after working on that for probably several weeks, I ended up lining the entirety of my next film one evening just because I got in a feedback loop of a random stranger reading over my shoulder at a bar, and we started drinking, and it led to a different set of ideas. I think inspiration and creativity is one of those things where you kind of just have to follow it when it shows up because the rest of the time it's a slog. It's the dedicated write for 8 hours. So when you get those moments of inspiration, just run with it
Oh,
because they don't come often.
I think it's very helpful advice. Okay, now if
Yes,
time
kids,
travel,
drink more.
no, I would say probably drink less, but do what you got to do. I don't know, whatever. If time travel was possible, would you do it?
Yeah, absolutely. Shamelessly, destructively. I would be an absolutely irresponsible time traveler. I don't think I would do the kill my younger self thing, but I would definitely fuck up the universe.
Oh my. What would you do?
Yeah.
Would you kill baby Hitler?
Yeah, but again, killing a baby is such a rough thought to go through.
True.
Like, I don't know. I feel like I would chicken out. Like maybe I would end with just being like a time tourist.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
time tourism sounds the most interesting to me, usage of
Mhm.
it.
yeah, because you don't know, right? You're really messing with the fabric of the universe. You know,
Hmm.
Or I
I
like
would
to
just
think
want
of
to
time
check things
travel.
out. Go to Rome for like ancient Rome for like half an hour, just walk around, catch a vibe, split.
Catch a vibe, catch a plague.
Whatever it is. All right. So, who is the funniest filmmaker of all time, and who is the funniest actor of all time?
For filmmaker, I'm going to put out there Mel Brooks, always.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to probably put Brooks in there. Um, yeah, that's tough. I mean, Brooks is the easiest answer for sure. I could say something else to make myself sound like snooty, like a film school student, but
Go
Do
for
it.
it, man.
like Jacques Tati sounds like a is like some, I
Yeah.
was brought up on a lot of his stuff as well. But I don't think I'm outwardly guffawing at Jacques Tati as much as I am with like Mel Brooks. So The Producers is one of my favorite movies. So by
I mean,
All
if
right.
we're gonna get his, if we're gonna get historical on the actor front, I'm gonna pull for Buster Keaton for funniest.
Nice. Mel Brooks's autobiography, All About Me, is hysterical if you haven't read it.
I haven't
Oh,
check that out.
Oh, yeah.
he
Good
has
stuff.
he has one of my favorite all-time quotes about writing and comedy, and also just perspective, which is that tragedy is when I cut my finger. Comedy is when you fall in a manhole and die.
He's a legend and he's still at it. It's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Do you
Um
know he went to a military school?
he served in World War II. He guided trucks around.
Yeah. Yeah. Virginia Military Institute.
Amazing. And I know that because I read his book. Anyways, if you were to program a double bill with this film and you had to pick a dramatic movie and not a comedy to sort of balance things out, let's say, get the dramatic relief, what would you pick?
Primer.
Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Back to back time travel films.
Makes sense.
God, that's a tough one. I mean, I was gonna like Primer was the first thing that came up just because also I feel like anytime you Google our film, it's like you might also like Primer, and a variety of other smaller kind of indie time travel films always crop up. God, what the hell would that's a really tough one. I'm trying to think of like what would be a good counterpoint or just something that would make people go like, huh. Like, yo, Schindler's List. Yeah, that'd be good.
All right.
Oh,
Sure.
why did
Okay.
you pair those two? I don't know. I was trying to think of the exact opposite of each other.
Uh,
No, I'm
oh,
committing to the theme. Primer. I stand by my first choice.
all right.
I,
I've gone over my time. I have to leave it there. I'm so sorry about that. But is there a final thought you want to end this interview with?
Um, just that we really hope the folks reading this and listening to this come out and see the movie. It was a labor of love. It's an indie film, and it's the kind of film that we don't get a lot of right now. So please come out and support. I think you'll have a blast.
All right. Well, thank you so much, guys, and have a good one.
Thank you.
thanks.